we're gonna make it like this. Happy to see everyone back on the channel. Welcome to CL Adventures. Today is gonna be one of our first DIYs, and our DIYs is gonna be everything involved with our adventure that we are doing: spear fishing, hiking, traveling, whatever it will be. So all our DIYs will be related to our adventures, and this is one of our first DIYs. Hope you guys enjoy it. This DIY is making handlebars for the boat. So we have people, we're driving in the swell and the boat is falling left and right and they don't know where to hold, and it's just whoa. So today we're gonna make some handlebars to make it more comfortable for everyone on the boat. And easy steps, it's everything gonna be homeboard with stainless steel and very simple. Hope you guys enjoy it. Oh yes, before I forget, if you are new to this channel, please make sure you subscribe with the bell notification on so you don't miss any other episode. We're gonna have one straight one down here and one short one down here, and we're gonna repeat the same over here. We're gonna have a short one here and then a long one over here. It's gonna be very simple. We're just gonna take some stainless steel, bend the stainless steel, drill the holes through and attach it. We want a nice clean look. First we're just going to measure our distances, how long we want it up here, how long we want it down, and then measure our stainless, start bending it and then installing it. Let's get going. So over here we've got a 45. We want a nice and straight line down. Started here, we can even go up to a 50. We have to repeat the same over here. We want the same length. So here we've got, this is for the anchor light. You install the anchor light over there, so if we hit a 50 down here, it will start with the curve, which we don't want that. So we want both the same. We make it 45 just before the bend, and then over here we'll do the same 45 just before the bend. So we'll start as well with a bit of a gap, and then 45 just before the bend. Our longer railing on the side, yeah, it's 75 is the total length. That includes the bend. Then it comes up your handle and then goes down. So we'll go with a 75 and 45. Let's get bending. We got our stainless steel tubes, a nice thin stainless steel, easy to grip. So we need to take in consideration our pressing and our bending that ends up with a 45 and a 75. Let's get starting. we've got our 4 handles. Some points that we want to look out. You want to observe what you are doing. Like we failed on this attempt here. I would say one of the most important things for the bending, of course my focus wasn't there at that moment, is you bend one side and you look down your stainless steel and you want to bend the other side parallel, so when you bend them over they are nice and straight. So make sure it's 100% parallel, otherwise if it's slightly off you will have an unstable footing. With the bending you can have it a bit unequal, and when we are tying it down we'll see if we can straighten it out, and we can use the hammer and get some better results. So after we bended it, as you could see, it was really easy to bend the stainless steel. It wasn't too hard. Then we just wanted to take by hand and just feel that everything is smooth. It is going to be handlebars, and we want to make sure that when you grab it there's nothing rough on the steel itself. And so we just grind everything a nice rounding just for a beautiful finish. We're going to make some pilot holes, draw them through, and let's get working. So we punched our holes. We're going to drill our holes. The drill bit you want to use is according to the screw you're going to use, and this is a 10 mil screw, so we're going to use a 10 mil stainless steel drill bit. This is stainless steel, so ask for stainless steel drill bit. They are sharper and easier to drill through stainless steel, and we're using this 10 mil. We're going to use the stainless steel washer and a stainless steel nut. Some extra insulation, not just using this washer, but we're going to put some marine ply behind the backing just to give that extra strength when you are really jerking and pulling on your handlebars. Let's say you're going through a big swell, so it doesn't put crack stains or crack on your fiberglass. So stay tuned for that. Let us start with the drilling. So all the holes are drilled, looking good. What we want to do now, as I mentioned to you, we're going to cut out some marine ply and we're going to do it on the backing of this handle. So when you are pulling or jerking, that it doesn't flex at the bottom. So let's go measure our marine ply. So one handlebar is going to run through here. We want to identify what is the narrowest part of our handlebars, and it is over here. Let's measure it up from the top. Nevertheless, it's going to fit underneath. We've got on the top 60 millimeters, so we're going to cut it through. We're going to cut 10 millimeters off and make it 50 millimeters so it can fit nice and snug inside. We have to minus the outer corners, so 50 millimeters will fit nice and snug inside. One is running up here, one is going on the side over here, one here, and one here. And as you can see, everywhere here on the top side and over here it's again 60. Here on the very top it is wider, but we're just going to stick with 50 and run it through as our backing. Okay, so one can measure out 50 millimeters and then your length and then manually cut it. But we've got a bandsaw, and then you just measure your bandsaw to 50 millimeters, the blade, and you don't have to measure and make a line. You can just push it through. So we're going to do that, and we're going to cut this off cut. So I just measured that I want the length there, and two pieces, 250 more strips here, and then 250 more strips here. I know it's nice and dark inside here. We just want to do the cutting and we'll be on our way. So this, we can measure from this beam to your blade 50 millimeters. And then we have it 50 millimeters. You adjust it, you tighten, and that is the width we want. We want to make sure they look nice and beautiful. The lining is beautiful. We're gonna do 30, and we want the same. We're gonna do 30 millimeters and make a mark. And then we're gonna do 30 millimeters and make a mark. We mark it, the circle where we want to draw. Also make sure when you're drilling underneath that there's no obstruction underneath on your boat. To drill now in it, we have our pilot hole to make a pilot hole, but because it's fiberglass and gel coat, we don't want to hammer it down and have a possibility of cracking. So we just take the center of it, lean on it, press on it, and then wiggle it around and make sure there is just an indent just to lead the draw bit. Otherwise on this gel coat the draw bit will just slide around, so we don't want that. Just make a nice indent. So going into this fiberglass, even though we made a hole with the punch, we want to start a bit smaller draw bit just to get that leading hole so it doesn't slip around. Then we're going to use our bigger hole. We're not going to do it for all of them, but the first one we install, we're going to put then a screw through it and then line up for the second one. It's now nicely in that punch hole that we made. It's in gentle. We've got our pilot hole drilled in. We're going to take our backing marine ply, put it behind it. We don't need to measure it up. We just make sure that it is over and it is in the center, and we hold it with one hand on this side underneath, not close to the hole, and we're gonna just follow up with that hole that we did in the fiberglass, do it through the wood. From our smaller drill bit, we go back to the 10 mil that we need for our screw to fit in. So we have already nicely our pilot hole, and we want to just make it 10 mil. Taking our backing wood and we place it back in its place and also make it 10 mil. Now we're going to install the handlebar. We want to do it already on one side so that we know it's nice and steady here to line up the next side. Before we slip our screw through, you want to put some kind of lubricant on it. This is sheep wool fat, and it works excellent on marine. Even though this is stainless steel and it will not corrode, we still put some lubricant on it. Whenever you want to loosen and tighten it, it's always going to give a nice smooth feel to it. So it's not going to seize up in any case. Just before we will install it and put the screw through the hole, we're going to use some marine silicone. If you don't have marine silicone, just use some silicone, which will give it a nice seal for any water or sea that will go through it, any water that wants to leak through. So it will give also a nice finish look. You don't have to overdo it, just covering it up nicely. Then we're going to put through our screw. Take the excess off. So the excess of marine silicone will nicely go also in the wood and through the wood. putting back our marine ply backing. Just before we're installing the nut, we want our stainless steel washer and then the lock nut, stainless steel, on the backing plate, on the backing wood. So there we have it for the first one. Now the second hole to drill and line up this hole makes it really easy. We can just hold it down, drill through it with no hassles. For the stainless steel nuts I'm using a 5 Allen key with a 13 on the 13mm nut. I don't want to tighten it down really hard, I just want to get it a little bit more snug, but nothing dramatic. We will do that at the very end. Now we're going to use straight the 10mm, and we're not going to guide it first with the 6. We have already a guide over here. After you have your hole through your fiberglass, you can remove the stainless steel just to the side and finish up with this hole here. Rag, our acetone, we want to clean off also the excess of the marine silicone. We want to clean where you want a silicone, make sure everything is nice and clean so the silicone sticks nice and well. We just wipe off the excess so it can give a beautiful neat finish. Thread. Okay, so now you know the process. Tightening this up, putting the stainless steel backing plate on the marine ply, tightening it up. Let's make a time lapse from it. One is installed. We put the silicone, we tighten them both nicely up. Look how solid it's fitting, sitting. Oh, it's really solid, really looking beautiful. And let's fast forward the rest so you know the process, the lineup. You'll see also with the time lapse I'm going to show you with the rest of them. And let's speed up the process. So we ran in a bit of a pickle here. My hand can only come in from here and my hand is stopping over here. I can't get in there and I need to get my nut inside. So the trick what I learned by my father is you use this bar stick, which is nice and sticky. You stick the nut to the spanner, so when you're having it at the edge of your fingers, it won't fall through. And then we also need this washer. We're gonna use some bar stick, put on the washer. So there we go. We bar stick both of them, and there. And now we're gonna start fishing. We're gonna fish until we have the screw nicely through, and here we have it. So we can just put it in our hand, use this as an extension, a nice fix and a nice solution if you're ever in a pickle like that. So here we go, we're all done finally. So a couple of minutes, just this one was really a struggle to get in underneath here. It was really tough. This one over here, we loosened the panel and it was easy to get in, and the rest, look how sturdy they are, really solid, and just quick homemade. Buy your stainless steel poles, bend them, shape them, mold them, and then you've got some great handles. Every time I said screw, I meant bolt. I was referring to this every time as a screw, but of course it's a bolt. So instead of having no grip, where they were standing like this, where to hold, to grab here, now it's nice handles and grab here and just enjoy the ride. So that's a wrap for us. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. This is our first DIY. Next coming up on our DIY is our swimming platform behind, and I hope you guys get tuned and subscribe, like, comment. For the great fans, share it on Facebook, and see you in the next adventure and DIY. Take care. Cheers.